And then when I was back in college, when I was at University of Texas, I actually did 4 years in the Texas National Guard at that time, and I deployed 2 more times in that time frame, and both of those trips were to Afghanistan. So I did 3 deployments in total, once to Iraq and twice to Afghanistan.
And that was while you just picked up football whenever you got back at the University of Texas. You were like, you know what? Fuck it. I was kind of bumming it in L.A. a little bit. I don't know if you wanted to be a model, actor, or whatever you were trying to be in L.A. You found your fulfillment, your purpose on this world trip. You became an entirely new human being. You get well-rounded. You go through a tour and then a bunch of other stuff, and you get back. You're like, you know what? Fuck, I'm going to go play football for the University of Texas. I'm a long stop. Is that just how it went? Is that how your mind just works? Like, you know what? Fuck it. I'll go play for a D1 college.
I wish I was that cool about it, but, the reality is, ever since I was a little kid, I dreamed of being a professional athlete. That was my thing. I mean, when I was really little, I was into G.I. Joe and all that stuff, but once I hit probably 5 years old, I was obsessed with the San Francisco Giants, the 49ers, Joe Montana and Ronnie Lott and Roger Craig and Jerry Rice and Tom Rathman. Just tons of these guys. They were my heroes. I was Joe Montana for Halloween 2 years in a row when I was 5 and 6. And it's just something that never left me. But as I grew, I was really into baseball and basketball, and I wanted to play football, but I was super young. My mom didn't want me to play. And by the time I got to high school, I was honestly, I was too much of a pussy. I was afraid, I'm going to ride the bench. I'm going to not be good enough. I don't want to, I just was insecure, man. I was a 13, 14-year-old kid, the same, we all had that moment. Yep. Some of us are that now.
True.
But,
very true. Oh, boy, Nick.
But so it just, but it bothered me, and it never went away, literally 16 years later, it still bothered me. And I was in Iraq when I made the decision that, I had an opportunity to re-enlist, again, and it would I don't know if I was going to have to go back to the schoolhouse and sort of be a trainer, which is something that everybody's supposed to do when you're in the military. And I sort of skated that one. And so that may be frowned upon by some people, but I didn't want to go to the schoolhouse and instruct. I wanted to just deploy. And, I think everybody wants that. But selfishly, I just dipped out and went to college instead and joined the National Guard. But the main reason I wanted to go to school, I didn't tell anybody this at the time. The main reason I wanted to go is I just wanted to try out. I wanted to play football. I wanted to do it because it never went away, that that regret, and I hated it because it was the number one thing I regretted, which is kind of stupid, but it stuck with me, and it probably affected a lot of my decisions through my teens and 20s because it's this fear of failure, or fear of looking stupid or whatever that stops most of us from doing what we really want to do. And so I started training, man. I was over there in Iraq, and I was I didn't know what position I was going to play, so I was Googling and YouTubing drills, and I was running routes and trying to learn how to backpedal, and started doing the Olympic lifts and putting on some weight because I weighed 165 pounds in the Army. I was very light. And then I came back. Well, I was actually over there towards the end of my deployment, and we're watching. It's football season, and we watch football every chance we get. And it's 5 a.m, and you're watching the Monday night game because of the time difference, And I just was I'm doing it, and I'm going to go back. And initially, I thought about going to a small school because I just wanted to make the team. And thank God for my buddy Brad, who unfortunately passed away in 2012. But Brad Keys was my big brother on the team, the guy I looked up to, my best friend. And he told me, he's like, no, dude, if you go play football, you're going to go to a big school. And I was like, he was like, what'd you play in high school? I was like, I didn't even play, dude. And he was just well, still, you're a Green Beret, man. You're not going to a small school. Oh. And I decided on Texas because I'd been to Austin once and I loved it. And, Mac Brown had been out to, a bunch of coaches go out to, on a USO tour type deal. And he went out there, and I didn't meet him, but everybody that I, knew out there was like, dude, he like made the helicopter wait before it was trying to leave because he wanted to sign every autograph and shake every hand. And there's more Longhorn flags hanging in, barracks windows than any other team. And for all those reasons, I just chose Texas and, came back the day I got out, I drove down to Austin, and the next day was the first day of school. And the day after that was the first day of tryouts.
That is awesome. I'm actually calling Mac Brown's new team, UNC, tomorrow night. Is there anything I should know about Mac Brown other than he's just an incredible individual?
Man, there's a lot of things to know about Mac. He's very so he has an awesome big charity golf tournament that he does every April that you should play. You play golf, right? You're a big golfer.
I'm fucking bad. It's like I'm a good enough golfer to do well, but then that puts me in situations where I have to compete against people that actually play. Like, I'm good, but I'm not. Well, you know what I mean?
It's a scramble, dude. It's a scramble tournament, but it's like it's called Mac, Jack, and McConaughey. It's Mac Brown, Jack Ingram, famous Texas country singer, and Matthew McConaughey.
Oh.
And they put this event on 2 day.
I should play
Thursday and Friday.
Sketch in that.
It's so much fun. So definitely do it on the air so he's like held accountable. But say, Coach Brown, I heard about this event. I would love to be a part of it because you play 2 like amazing golf courses, and then like last year the headliner was Chris Stapleton.
Oh.
They have like this concert charity event. It's so much fun, dude. So anyway, I think
what's he raising money for there? What are they raising money for there?
There's it's 5 local charities in Austin. All of them help kids that are underserved in the communities or disabilities, all that kind of stuff. So, I mean, they raised like $3 million in 2 days. It's pretty amazing.
Well, McConaughey makes like $3 million. But neither here nor there. It's incredible work to donate money. I appreciate that. Everybody says something good about Mac Brown, though. By the way, it's
hard to say something bad about him, man. I mean, you know this as a football player. There's always people, no matter who the coach is, there's always players that don't like him, and typically it's because they didn't play.
They screwed me. The coach screwed
you know what I mean?
Me. Yeah,
exactly. It's usually that. It's not. Because then you'll meet somebody else. It's like, that guy's the coolest dude in the world, but it's like a personal thing. But, Coach Brown is really impossible to hate. And his wife, Sally, mention his wife, Sally, because she runs the family, first of all. But she's incredible, man. She's just like Coach. Like, she remembers every single freaking player's name, every player's mom's name, everybody. I mean, they're just the real deal.
That's awesome. Can't wait to do that. I'm going to meet him for the first time here coming up on today, actually. So if you're listening to this in the afternoon, I am currently meeting Mac Brown right now, and I am making him feel terrible about not having me at his golf tournament.
Hey, I think it's dude. He beat his 2, and I like both Will Muschamp and Manny Diaz, but he beat his 2 former defensive coordinators in his first 2 games at UNC, and he was probably not supposed to win either of those games. Like, I love it.
UNC used to suck. Wake Forest also very underrated. I think we're in for a great game at 6 o'clock. I've done a lot of preparation here in the last couple hours. Ty's been just feeding me information. I think it's going to be a barn burner. The offenses are very good, and I can't wait to see it happen. I'm excited to be there. Let's move forward, though, with your life, Mr. Boyer.
My life.
I wish that line by your boy Danny saying, "Hey, man, you're a Green Beret. You're not going to some fucking small school," is one of my favorite lines of all. Brad. I'm sorry, Brad.
You're good.
Brad's saying, "Hey, man, you are a Green Beret. You're not going to some D2 school. You've made it through a boot camp that not a lot of people can do. You've done things in your life that most people cannot do. You're a special individual. You go to Texas. You do well. You befriend Jay Glazer. Is it after that? When do you meet up with Jay Glazer, and when does the stint with the Seattle Seahawks happen?"
Yeah, so you know what? I just remembered one quick story about Mac. I got to say, it's a great one.
Please do.
Okay, so backtrack real quick. So I go to Texas. I walk on as a safety. I don't play at all because I'm just too slow, and it's really hard. It turns out football's hard. It turns out not super easy, especially at a D1 program. But but I was happy to be on the team. Amazing experience. I get to run down on kickoff when we're blowing somebody out. But I wanted to start. I wanted to play meaningful snaps. So I figure the starting long snappers are graduating. So there's an opportunity there, and that's I've never snapped before, but that's about the only position athletically I can maybe hang in. So maybe holder, but we already had a supreme holder, and he was like, he was like the 7th string wide receiver, but he was very good at holding. So that was locked down. I can't kick. So I started teaching myself how to long snap while I was, overseas. And right before I went on that deployment, I went into Coach Brown's office and I said, Coach, I really appreciate the opportunity to be a part of the team. This is amazing. I'm going overseas this summer, but I'll keep training over there and I'll be back for training camp. And he was like, yeah, of course. Like, don't worry about it. All good. I mean, it's a scout team player. He's not too concerned. He's just like, don't get shot, and we'll see you, see you in August. And so, and this is like in April. And I told him, well, Coach, I just started long snapping recently. Started kind of messing around with it, and I'd love to, have an opportunity to compete for the position in training camp. And he was just like, okay, have you ever long snapped before? And I was like, Coach, I'd never played football before I got here, and he didn't know that. I kind of kept that sort of secret for a while, so he was just like, well, yeah, sure. You get back here, we'll let you try it. And I'm sure in his mind he was like, are you kidding me? Like, you're not going to figure this out in 3 months. But I go over there, I bring a couple footballs with me, and I snap every day and, come back. And sure enough, he lets me try out for the position, and I win the backup job. They didn't want to start me because they were just like you never snapped in a game. It's a different thing.
Oh yeah.
And they'd recruited this kid to do it, so they got this 6th ranked long snapper in the country, recruited in. And, so, first game, out there, he's an 18-year-old kid. It's 101,000 people. It's a different deal. He, has a couple not great snaps, and Coach Brown ended up being the one sort of fighting for me. Obviously he makes the ultimate decisions, but it's this, the special teams coordinator's call too. And he was the one sort of advocating for me. And so that Wednesday we had a snap off at practice, and whoever was the most accurate got the start on Saturday. And I started that second game, and then the next 37 after that until I graduated.
Let's go!
But it was because of Mac. I don't think there's I would be you'd be hard pressed to find a head coach that would legitimately make that a real opportunity, a real possibility. You know what I mean? When somebody, I know it was in the Army and all that, but someone that comes in their office has never done that before, never played, and it's Texas, and he's like, yeah, well, sure, we'll give you a shot. Why not?
Hold on. Let's think about that 18-year-old kid. That 18-year-old kid, 6th ranked snapper in the world that year. He gets recruited to go play at Texas. Hook him! He's saying all through his senior year of high school, can't wait, I'm going to be a star here. Has a rough start. And then Mac Brown tells him, hey, man, on Wednesday, you're going to have a snap-off against a special forces guy. Hey, you're going to have to see if you're mentally tougher than a guy that was a Green Beret. And that kid had no shot. I'm happy Mac Brown gave you a chance. And
yeah, me too.
Because it's awesome. It's a cool story, mostly because we live in an era, and I think it does get overblown sometimes. It seems like everybody wants everybody to fail these days. It seems like everybody's waiting for everybody to kind of fail. Everybody's waiting for a reason to take somebody down. To hear a story about a guy who was down and then find his purpose and then stay motivated and keep moving, it's a cool thing to hear, Nate. I appreciate the hell out of that story. You get to the Seahawks. You get to the Seattle Seahawks. You're in training camp. It was a cool story. It was like, hey, this guy didn't play in high school. He got to play at Texas, 3 tours. He's done a lot for our country. It was kind of like I don't want to say it was kind of like, it was a real life potential movie. It was a real life potential opportunity for a movie there. You get to the Seahawks, you snap for a little bit, it doesn't work out, and then you become this voice of reason almost, from not only from the military and moving forward, but for a lot of social things that were happening.